An economic war is underway, and it's not just happening in boardrooms or government offices. It's unfolding in the places you visit every day. You feel the impact every time you shop, whether you're picking up groceries, buying clothes, or searching for a new phone. Tariffs on Chinese goods are quietly raising prices on everything from the latest electronics to the smallest car parts, making everyday purchases more expensive than before. Companies don't just absorb these extra costs. They pass them directly to you, the consumer, often without you even realizing it. The goal behind these tariffs is to make American products more competitive. But here's the catch. Many US manufacturers depend on Chinese components to build their goods, so their production costs go up, and so do their prices. That means we're hit twice. Both imports and domestic goods become more expensive, leaving shoppers with fewer affordable options. As a result, families across the country are forced to make tougher choices, stretching their budgets and cutting back on things they once took for granted. Meanwhile, China retaliates with tariffs of its own, targeting American farmers, manufacturers, and tech companies, leading to lost markets and shrinking profits. The consequences ripple outward: lost sales, lost revenue, and lost jobs. Trade wars don't just hurt the other side, they create casualties in communities across the nation. The administration argues that tariffs are necessary to rebalance the global economy and protect American interests. But the reality is that the burden often falls on everyday Americans. Rising prices aren't just a sign of inflation. They're the fallout from a high-stakes geopolitical chess game where every move has real-world consequences. So, the question remains, are we truly punishing China, or are we just making life harder for ourselves and our neighbors? As the economic battlefield expands, tariffs act as a blunt weapon, one that often hits home the hardest, affecting families, workers, and small businesses. The facts reveal a complex reality far beyond the simple slogans and political rhetoric. The numbers show that the effects are widespread and deeply felt. The pain is real, the uncertainty is growing, and for many the promised gains remain out of reach. So, who's really paying the price for this trade war? The answer is closer to home than you might think. You'd think losing US business would cripple China, but the opposite is happening. China's trade surplus with the rest of the world is growing, not shrinking. While Washington pushes tariffs, China is building new partnerships across Asia, Africa, and South America. These regions are eager to trade. Filling the gap left by the US-China's Belt and Road Initiative has created a global trade network less dependent on the West. As America tries to decouple, the world is coupling with China. Chinese goods, tech, and machinery are in high demand. This new ecosystem gives Beijing leverage and makes US attempts to isolate China less effective. The strategy of economic pressure is facing a reality check. China's resilience is greater than expected, and its influence is expanding. As China builds new bridges, are we burning ours? The auto industry is undergoing a dramatic transformation, driven by the rapid rise of electric vehicles. What was once a market dominated by traditional gasoline-powered cars is now shifting toward a future powered by batteries and innovation. And at the forefront of this revolution is China, leading the charge with unmatched speed and ambition. Companies like BYD and NIO have not only mastered EV technology, but have also built robust supply chains, allowing them to produce and export affordable, high-quality cars at an unprecedented scale. Their vehicles are now arriving in Europe by the thousands, reshaping the continent's car market. European consumers are increasingly choosing Chinese EVs for their unbeatable value, offering advanced features, impressive range, and modern design, all at prices that undercut local competitors. Meanwhile, European automakers are struggling to keep up, unable to match China's prices or production scale. This has put immense pressure on local industries and jobs. China's dominance in the EV sector is more than just a commercial success. It's a strategic victory, giving the country significant influence over a key industry of the 21st century. Now, the European Union faces a tough dilemma. Should it protect its historic auto industry with tariffs and regulations, or embrace affordable Chinese EVs to accelerate its climate goals and make green mobility accessible to all? Imposing tariffs could slow down the transition to electric vehicles, making them less affordable and angering consumers who want cheaper, greener options. This isn't the first time China has used this playbook. By investing heavily, scaling up production and targeting global markets, China first conquered solar panels, and now it's doing the same with cars. While the US remains focused on trade disputes and political tensions, China is quietly and efficiently winning the industries that will define the future. The growing presence of Chinese electric cars on European streets is a visible sign of this shift in global power and influence. This story is about much more than just cars. It's about who will set the rules and standards for tomorrow's economy. The question is, are we truly paying attention to this new world order that's rapidly taking shape? China's ambitions go beyond trade. They're making a power play for gold. As the world's top gold producer, China controls its own supply and is buying up mines globally. This isn't just about reserves, it's about controlling the gold supply chain. China is inviting other countries to store their gold in new secure vaults in China, using the renminbi. This challenges the Western financial system and offers an alternative to the dollar and pound. For nations wary of Western sanctions, China's offer is tempting. It's a strategic move. Economic incentive meets geopolitical ambition. China is positioning itself as the new custodian of global wealth. This is about more than gold bars. It's about building a new financial order. Beijing wants to sit at the center. For decades, most of the world's gold was stored in New York and London, giving the US and UK quiet leverage. But when Western nations froze Russia's reserves, trust in these vaults was shaken. Countries realized their gold could be seized at any moment. China is exploiting this fear, offering to store gold for other nations as a safer alternative. Moving gold to China is both a financial and political statement, a shift in allegiance. Every bar moved east weakens Western dominance. If this trend grows, the West's leverage will erode. Power is shifting quietly, not with force, but with gold shipments. The world's ultimate asset is on the move. The foundation of US financial dominance is starting to crack. Washington's response? More tariffs and threats of sanctions, this time on gold. But gold is hard to control. It flows around obstacles. Tariffs could backfire, pushing more countries to move their gold out of the West. Aggressive moves risk driving allies toward China. Some analysts warn China could revalue gold, boosting its reserves and undermining the dollar. The gold standoff is a hidden front in the economic conflict, less visible, but more fundamental. The US is playing defense with old tools, while China plays a long-term game with real assets. The outcome could reshape the future of money. China's strategy, dominating global trade, leading the electric vehicle revolution, and amassing gold reserves, is a calculated move to challenge the US dollar's long-standing supremacy. By strengthening its economic influence and building up tangible assets, China is positioning itself as a serious contender in the global financial arena. For the past 75 years, the US dollar has reigned as the world's reserve currency, granting America unmatched power and influence over international finance, trade, and even politics. This dominance was cemented after World War II, when the Bretton Woods Agreement established the dollar at the center of the global monetary system. Now, China wants to end that era by encouraging more countries to trade in yuan, and by backing its currency with gold to inspire trust and stability. This is a direct challenge to the dollar's privileged position. Every new trade deal settled in yuan, every digital transaction using China's currency, chips away at the dollar's dominance and signals a shift in global economic power. Gold is the key to China's strategy. By tying the yuan to gold, China is sending a clear message to the world. Our money is backed by something real and valuable, not just promises. As trust in the dollar erodes due to inflation, debt, and political uncertainty, the appeal of the yuan, especially one backed by gold, continues to grow among investors and nations alike. The dollar won't collapse overnight, but its throne is undeniably wobbling. The world is witnessing the early signs of a major shift in the balance of financial power. A gold-backed yuan could pave the way for a multipolar currency world, where several strong currencies compete for influence, rather than one dominating all others. If this happens, the US would lose its easy access to cheap credit and its powerful ability to impose sanctions on other countries, fundamentally changing the rules of global finance. This could mark the end of uncontested American economic hegemony, ushering in a new era where power is more evenly distributed across nations. The rise of the yuan is about more than just finance. It's about shifting global power, influence, and the future direction of the world economy. The world is watching closely, and the stakes couldn't be higher. Every move is scrutinized as nations and investors prepare for what comes next. Are we ready for a new era, one where the dollar shares its throne, or perhaps even steps aside. The future of global finance is being rewritten before our eyes. Is the dollar's reign ending? Not overnight, but the process has begun. China is building a parallel financial system, trade, manufacturing, and gold at its core. The dollar may have to share the stage for the first time in generations. More countries are weighing their options, moving gold to China and hedging against US sanctions. The more the US weaponizes finance, the more the world seeks alternatives. Expect the global economy to split into two blocks, one led by the US, the other by China. Supply chains, alliances, and prices will all be affected. Currency markets will be volatile as the dollar and yuan compete. This is about more than economics. It's about the world we'll live in for decades. China isn't just playing the game. It's changing the rules. The outcome will shape our prosperity and security. The ground is shifting beneath us. Are we paying attention?